Rabies. The name alone strikes a primal fear into our hearts. It is the closest thing we have to a real-life zombie virus. It boasts a terrifying 99.9% fatality rate once symptoms appear, the deadliest virus known to humanity. But it has a weakness. It's slow. It's clumsy. It requires a bite, a direct transfer of saliva into an open wound to spread. But what if it evolved? What if the deadliest pathogen on Earth didn't need a bite? What if it could hitch a ride on the very air we breathe, just like the flu? Today, we simulate the ultimate nightmare scenario. This is day 0 of the airborne rabies pandemic.
It begins innocently enough. A mutation occurs in a remote bat colony, allowing the virus to survive in microscopic aerosol droplets. Patient 0, unaware they are carrying humanity's extinction event in their lungs, boards a flight from South America to JFK International Airport. Within 12 hours, 300 passengers on that flight are infected. They land, disperse, and the clock starts ticking. We're seeing a spike in flu-like cases reported in major hubs: fever, headaches, fatigue. Standard stuff for this time of year. Oddly, standard flu tests are coming back negative. We're calling it the summer bug for now. Nothing to panic about yet. Rabies has an incubation period that can last from weeks to months. This airborne variant is faster, but it still grants a deceptive grace period. For 2 weeks, the virus multiplies silently in the nervous systems of millions. People go to work, ride crowded subways, and attend packed stadium concerts. Every cough, every sneeze, every exhaled breath in a crowded elevator is a death sentence for everyone inside. The virus is everywhere before we even know it's there. Day 15. The incubation period ends for the first wave of infected. Normally, rabies travels slowly up the nerves to the brain. This airborne version, entering through the olfactory nerves in the nose, takes a shortcut directly into the central nervous system. The first sign isn't foaming at the mouth, it's anxiety. Extreme, irrational paranoia. Then comes the sensitivity. Bright lights become blinding. Everyday sounds become excruciating torture. Breaking news. Hospitals across the metropolitan area are overwhelmed. Reports of patients exhibiting extreme aggression toward staff. Police are advising all citizens to remain indoors. I repeat, stay indoors. This is not a drill. Hospitals are the first to fall. Emergency rooms, already packed with people thinking they have the flu, suddenly turn into slaughterhouses. Doctors and nurses are attacked by the very patients they are trying to treat. Unlike traditional Hollywood zombies, these victims are still alive. They are still human, but their brains are on fire, hijacked by a virus that only has one goal: to spread. It overstimulates the amygdala, the primitive part of the brain controlling aggression and fear, while shutting down the rational prefrontal cortex. They aren't undead. They are just pure, unadulterated rage.
By day 21, governments attempt to enact martial law. Quarantine zones are established.
Borders are sealed, but you cannot quarantine the air. Soldiers manning checkpoints inhale the virus from the crowds they are trying to contain. Within days, entire military units turn on each other in a frenzy of friendly fire. The chain of command disintegrates. The vaccine, it doesn't work. The protein shell of the airborne strain has mutated too much. The current rabies protocol is useless. We tried antiviral cocktails, induced comas. Nothing stops it once symptoms start. My whole team is gone. I can hear them outside the lab door. They're screaming, not in pain, in anger. If anyone is listening, don't go to the cities. Run. Just run. The most horrifying symptom of rabies, hydrophobia, now manifests on a global scale. Millions of infected people driven mad by thirst, but physically unable to swallow, roam the streets. The dehydration concentrates the virus in their saliva, making them even more infectious if they do resort to biting. But they don't need to bite. Their heavy, panting breaths, screaming and spitting fill enclosed spaces with viral loads. Power grids fail as operators succumb to the madness. Water treatment plants shut down. The modern world, dependent on complex human cooperation, grinds to a halt in less than a month. 3 months in, the chaos has largely subsided, replaced by an eerie silence. Rabies is a brutally efficient killer. Without advanced life support, an infected person will die within a week of showing symptoms due to dehydration or respiratory failure. The massive first waves of infected have all died out. The streets of New York, Mumbai, and Cairo are now open graveyards. But the virus hasn't vanished. It lingers in pockets of survivors, small groups hiding in bunkers, remote cabins, or islands. All it takes is one infected person entering a poorly ventilated shelter to restart the cycle of carnage inside. Survivors learn quickly that other humans are the greatest threat, not because they might loot your supplies, but because sharing air with them is playing Russian roulette. Trust becomes extinct. Civilization is reduced to lonely individuals wearing gas masks, eyeing each other through fogged-up lenses, fingers always on the trigger. Could humanity survive? Perhaps. In the most desolate, frozen corners of the world, where the cold air limits viral transmission and population density is near zero. But the world they inherit would be forever changed. The trauma of seeing billions die in a state of rabid madness would scar the collective human psyche for generations. We often look to the stars for threats, asteroids, aliens, but the monster that could truly end us might already be here, sleeping in the blood of a bat, just one unlucky mutation away from taking flight.